Yo, I hit the button. It's Warp Charge Gaming, and we're live on Thursday night. Like we do every Thursday night, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Happens to be the 4th of July. Happy 4th of July, James, and our friends at home.
The Independence Day for America.
Yeah, the Independence Day for America. Where we shoot fireworks off and yip and holler and drink beer, I think is the tradition. Is that what you do, James?
It's the tradition for us to celebrate. We celebrate treason. That's for sure what we celebrate.
Yeah, down with the treason. Yeah, except unless you're heretics.
Down with treason, dude.
I'm a heretic. I don't know what I'm saying, but yeah, you know that's what day it is. It's been a crazy week. It's been a crazy day. James, you got a nice dude going on there. That was a nice dude. But yeah, there's been all kinds of stuff happening. Particularly, dude, like I'm just all caught up. Like my mind's all combobulated. Oh, I'm showing you right now. I'm showing you. Oh, I got a little sneak peek at the APOC book.
Oh, man.
It's coming out this here weekend, and being at Battlegrounds, I was able to kind of crack it open a little bit early, check it out. And yeah, that's been wild, James. I've been very excited. Just before we got on air here, I put together a 30,000 point list between me and two of my buddies at Battlegrounds armies. 30,000 points, buddy. Oh, we got Shadizo tuning in. What's up, buddy?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, did you get that? 30,000 points, James. Do you hear me?
Wow, dude.
Yeah.
30,000.
30,000. So we're about to put the shit to the test.
Dude, I think I'm frozen, bro.
Are you?
I'm hearing you, but
yeah, we keep coming at a delay to one another, I think. Yeah, because like you definitely hear me like way later. Look at James just like staring. All right. So James is frozen. I'm just gonna go right into this. James, you hold tight till things get cool. Maybe jump back in. But we have done a lot this week, and particularly I've been studying a ton of Apocalypse over the last couple days. But you know, one thing, we threw up a flyer showing the finalized prize support for the Battle in the Warp coming up. That's super pumped. May have shown you that last week. I can't remember. But this is super cool. It shows the inventory wall at Battlegrounds going into a warp hole and all the awesome prizes that we're going to be offering. That's one of many tournaments that we have. That's probably the most. It's going to be a monumental milestone for us, as it's a 2-day major 64-man event, sold out over a month in advance. Partnered with Coastal Wargaming. You can see that there, July 21st. Next weekend's the Kill Team tournament. You guys are going to see some more Kill Team live tournament coverage next Saturday. And then Age of Sigmar is also at the end of the month. And as you can see, we got 18 tournaments up for the rest of the year. This is really cool. I'm excited to show this. Is just that we've been on an awesome content release schedule. And I think that that's a testament to just our growth. It's something that James and I have talked about for a long time about, man, one thing we got to do to keep up with the big guys is post content every day. And that's been a real challenge. And thanks to partnering and being inside of the game store now, I have a plethora of new people I'm meeting every day, and continue to be able to play a crazy amount of battles. I've done more battles than I've ever could have imagined in my life, doing roughly 2 games a day. And as you can see there, we got we got, it's a lot of chaos, always a lot of chaos on Warp Charge, but you can see Age of Sigmar 40K, Age of Sigmar 40K, Age of Sigmar 40K talk shows, tutorial videos. We got a Apostles of Wrath Black Crusade RPG that we actually have 4 more episodes that are done. We're just trying to do some brief editing, kind of post it all up at once. We got tournament videos both for Kill Team and Sigmar. So really just loving the variety, and just super happy to be able to do that. A big thanks to being able to launch our Patreon. You can see that at the bottom of the screen, and that's been going strong and really helping us feel confident and continue to grow. Speaking of which, is this upcoming next week is our next Patreon payout, and that's going to Heretic Hornet or Tiro, and as well as Michael. You guys are both the next up in the $5 and $10 tier, and look forward to getting you guys hooked up with a shopping spree. Got about $150 between the two of you to go crazy with. So you guys got to start figuring out what you're going to get. And stoked for that. I know what I got, like I've been saying, is the Apocalypse book. Yo, it's crazy. So 30,000. I watched Mini Wargaming did a review as well as a bat rep showing, and I got to watch that last night while I was dissecting the book and giving it a good read through. And it's really exciting how it's going to play. Let me check the old. I'm sorry, guys. I'm at home right now, so not the most optimized setup. I've seen if you guys are hollering out there. Hey, all is dust. Happy 4th. Good to see you, all is dust. So I'm going to talk a little bit about APOC and what I'm excited about. I think that the game system is really intriguing, and it's going to be really exciting to see things bust off. Well, we got James back in the hood. James, you hear me okay? I still got the long delay. I don't know why. Still got the long delay. I hear him real time just fine. Yeah. No telling. Sorry, James. Luckily, I got plenty to talk about. All right. So back to the coolness. So in APOC, what's really whack is that there's a whole nother way of looking at your models as far as understanding how they operate with each other and alone independently. It's while they're going to apparently behave in a way that feels right or to their what you would expect, you're looking at things totally different. Like a knight has 6 wounds. Angrath, the like expensive 600 some point greater demon is like 5 wounds. 5 terminators is like 2 wounds. The way damage is taken is a lot is where most of it is changed up, just the way that attacking things and damage is done. But I think the general tactics that live within a miniature tabletop war game of how important movement is and screening and timing of charges and objectives. I think the general mechanics of what is a good player is going to be involved, and there's going to be synergies and list building that, even though it's like bring all your models, there's still certain ones that do certain things that's could be a game-changing mechanic, and building your detachments around it instead of building kind of within a detachment and being limited to 3. Now you're taking as many detachments as possible, because each detachment is what you activate like you would a unit or a model inside of a kill team. You're going to be going back and forth activating each of these detachments. So you'll have your all the detachments are the same as they are in the 40K standard. It's just separated into core and specialists. I think we call it special detachments. But you get to take like 1 special detachment for every 3 core detachments that you take. So whenever it's for every detachment that you have, you'll nominate a commander. It's going to be a unit with the highest leadership, and if it's a character, it'll gain the warlord trait, which is what's going to allow you to draw command asset cards. That's basically where all the stratagems, psychic powers, anything that's not an ability that lives on your character or your data sheet is going to be command assets, these deck of cards. And that's a big mechanic of the game, is you building a 30-card deck of these command assets. So you have what comes in the core box, all these command assets for every different faction, as well as universal ones that anybody can use. And then there's an expansion of 100 additional command asset cards to expand your mode of play for each faction and universally. The actual data cards themselves, you can get all that for free as free PDFs on the Warhammer community page. So they've already given you access to that. They print really well. They print as a 1-page, full-page piece of paper to see the entire data sheet. So you definitely can do that for the more inexpensive route. And I think my buddy at Battlegrounds, Ben, made a good point about you don't get very much in the box. Like for $100 to buy this Apocalypse box set, it's not mind-blowing on when you open the box and you see this very thin book and the few tokens you get. And they sell these like very nice Apocalypse dice for like another $20-some, and they just give you regular old dice inside the box. And it doesn't feel great. But I think if you look at it as a people buy it as a group, you have your gaming group that you're going to play, you and your buddy. It's totally worth like splitting the box. Or buying it with more than one person. I think that's kind of the idea, because each person just needs their selection of command assets cards. The tokens, you obviously need them, but that's even splittable easily, as what's in the box is enough for two people to definitely, or to play a giant game of APOC pretty much. But yeah, so each one of your detachments with its commander, which could be upgraded to a warlord if it's a character, is what leads each of these detachments whenever you activate them. So you have 3 different types of activations, and they're either movement related to be able to get within charge into combat. There's one that's kind of you're able to move and shoot or fight, and then there's one that gives you a bonus to shooting but a negative to combat. And the idea is that you're activating back and forth an entire detachment for whoever's in range of your commander to receive the command abilities. And you would want your detachments to be synergized in their motive, because if they had mixed motives of, say, shooting and combat, then you wouldn't be able to apply the most efficient orders to them to activate, because they would be wanting to do 2 different things. So yeah, that's the general gist. The cool thing about what I'd say is that while it's an entirely different game, I was extremely impressed in how digestible the rules were. It's really just a matter of referencing what each of your models or units do via the data cards. That's like the referencing part. So it feels good that you're not trying to reference how the game is actually played. You're just referencing the things that you're using within it. And that can be scaled down or spammed to make it easier, whatever. So it's definitely going to be an adventure to try like 30,000 points, maybe 15 versus 15 or whatever. You're going to see that really soon. That's 30,000 points of painted models. So I'm extremely excited. It's all the greater Chaos Gods, Keeper of Secrets, 10 Demon Princes. It's just out of control. So much infantry. Yeah, really, what's the cool thing is that, so you have all these alternating activations. The dice are reduced extremely, so you're only rolling a very low amount of dice, as much as you're used to rolling buckets of buckets. You might only roll up to 12 at a time maximum, and that's uncommon. It's more like 8 dice is a lot. So you're rolling very minimal saves. You're rolling very minimal attacks. It's very easy. Everything's kind of condensed and meant for speed of play. And rocking through games with massive things dying. What's cool is that everything gets to do its thing, and then after everything has done its thing, there's the damage phase, and you kind of see an apocalyptic piece of destruction. It's very thematic how everything gets to move back and forth. There's all this action between both players constantly, and you're getting to feel the swing of the battle, and then the collide and everything dying at once. You see a huge horde covering a large part of the board just disappear. And I love that aspect of the board being filled with stuff and not even able to be waded through, and then just being obliterated from all the action that went down. So, James, are you catching any of that?
I caught all that, bro.
Yeah, we're back on time.
That sounds pretty gnarly.
Yeah, dude, I'm so pumped.
Like, I understand like the feel bad aspect of like, dude, you could just have so many things just wiped out, but they like countered it because you still get to do your thing. But man, as a combat guy, I'm still thinking like, I get to do my thing, but that's just run up to you. I'm gonna get murdered still.
Yeah, they still got well, not necessarily, because if they are a all guns oriented unit, they don't necessarily want to fight, just like a standard play. And if they've opted to shoot, because like they choose their orders. And so, like, the cool thing is everybody chooses their orders at the same time. There's the order phase, and everybody's putting down their different types of commands they want to delegate, but it's all secret. And then once it's time for action, as you activate the units, you reveal what you chose for them to do. And if they didn't activate their shooting unit in time, you may assault into them, and now they can't. And then if they selected to only shoot, they pretty much all say they pretty much all have the option to fight, but if they chose the one like ready aim where they get +1 to shoot, they're -1 to hit in combat because they chose to optimize their shooting. And so if you hit their detachment when they chose to ready aim before they even got to do it, now they're -1 to hit you, and they can't even shoot that turn because they're engaged. They have to fall back. And because they chose ready aim, they didn't choose an order that allowed movement, so they're stuck in combat.
What if they have like fly keywords and things like that?
That still operates. They can still, there's still things like fall back and shoot and things like that. And there's another wild thing about all these hordes is that now, like, like horrors. I was just looking up horrors a minute ago, and there's no split. There's no pink, blue, and brim. It's just horrors. So you just take all your horrors and throw them all on the board in whatever way you want. And if any one of those bodies touch another unit, in order to be in combat in this, it's base to base. So if you have one model of your horde within touching distance of the other, you're in combat and you fight as if your whole thing swarmed around them. But there's only a ½ inch coherency in this. So everything's always going to be a ½ inch, and I think it even says something about having, like, if you were to make a Congo line, it has to be like double road. Like, you might have to be 2 models within a ½ inch or something like that. So they make it very close quarters with your units, yeah. And then everything takes in the damage phase, everything takes a morale, and the more damage it took inside the round, the worse off it's going to be in that morale. So let's say it's a knight, and somebody put their whole army into this knight, and it collected all this damage to be resolved into the damage phase. So they make all the saves that they possibly can, and then they would have to take a leadership, and then based on how much damage they took that turn is going to be how difficult it is to pass that. If they fail, they take an additional damage. When a 5-man unit of Terminators only has 2 wounds, if it took one, it didn't save it, fails one of its saves, now it has 1 damage, and then in leadership it fails that, then it's dead. If something becomes half of its wound profile, then it's -1 to hit, and then has half of its attacks reduced. So there's like a degradation in that way. But yeah, it's pretty much, things wreck into each other. Everything gets to kind of get its action. You go back and forth, so it's fast-paced, and everything dies in big masses. And so it scales down in an interesting way. But like many Wargaming Cats did like a 3,000-point game. And like if you're in that, if you tried to play this rule set in like 2,000 to 3,000, literally it's over in about 2 to 3 turns, maybe 3, because so much stuff will die. And depending on how the players play or whatever, somebody's going to come out on top. But yeah, things wreck into each other, and in a couple turns are gone. Especially if you bring some big super heavies and whatnot. So I'm excited to see. I think that from what I see in the scale of about a 30,000, if it was 30,000 on 30,000, we're supposed to do a 12 by 6, I think. Yeah, 12 by 6 and 6 hours. Just respectable for 30,000 point game.
Yeah, that sounds pretty wild, bro.
Yeah. So I'm really excited to just mess around with it. We have a Reaver Titan, a Warhound Titan, 2 Lord of Skulls, Angras, Scabathrax, Morty, Magnus, Lord of Change, 2 Lords of Change, Fate Weaver, 2 Bloodthirsters, Scarbrand. It's gonna be out of control.
That sounds out of control, bro.
Yeah. So I'm pretty excited. That's just the chaos half, and I'm gonna probably be trying to get some Battlegrounds cats to bring their massive armies. I know a few people that have some gigantuous Imperium stuff, so that'll be exciting.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm looking forward to showing that content off. Oh, David Rush, our Death Guard competitive. Hey, David. David Rush says, our Death Guard competitive, James, is he talking about Apocalypse? Is he talking about Kill Team? Is he talking about 40K?
I'm going to assume he's talking about 40K. And if he's talking about 40K, there are parts of Death Guard that are very competitive. But the way to be like top table competitive is just to take the best of Death Guard and throw it in with some more Nurgly of Nurglyness.
Yeah.
And demons.
I just posted a bat rep, James. I don't know if you got a chance to catch it. I played Ben from Battlegrounds with his Death Guard, he had Morty, 3 Plague Burst Crawlers, a Death Guard Demon Prince with a circulating plate or whatever.
The separating plate.
Yeah, throws back the mortal wounds, 2+ save. What's a really nice,
Yep.
he likes the warlord. I liked his warlord trait synergy with his plague burst crawlers. Gives them, I think it's reroll to wounds, but it might be to hits and to wounds.
Is normally people do the Arch Contaminator.
Yeah, that's the one.
And what it does is it like adds to your aura.
Okay.
So like you're giving your reroll 1s, but like you're getting extra distance to your rerolls.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, it's nice. But yeah, so that was like his Death Guard portion is Morty, which is its own thing, and then the 3 Plague Bearers Crawlers, the Demon Prince, and the rest of it was pretty much Plague Bearers. Scrivener, Poxbringer, trying to buff him up, Miasma. So, and he takes 60 of them. So you guys can catch 60 Plague Bearers, Morty, 3 Plague Bearers Crawlers, and this Demon Prince against my Bloodletter Bomb Scarbrand combo. And it was a great match, James. Went down to the very last turn. I don't know if I should spoil it, but it was literally, I'll just say that it was the very last moments of the game that decided it, literally last turn. I think you tuned in, actually, James, didn't you? You said something right at the end of the report.
Yeah.
It was pretty wild.
I subscribed as a Twitch member.
Ah, yeah, that's thanks, James.
Hey. Yeah, I got to subscribe, bro. You get a free Amazon Prime subscription, so why not use it for the channel, bro?
Yo, I just noticed you're wearing one of our awesome shirts that you designed. James is a badass shirt designer. We, this week, just got 3 more designs. One, James was hype on making a Dark Side of the Moon style one with our logo. What got you inspired about that, Bo? Were you listening to some, watching some Wizard of Oz, listening to some Dark Side of the Moon?
I think I just happened to see Dark Side of the Moon like album artwork, and I was like, you know what? This would be pretty cool.
Nice. Well, I'm glad you were inspired. I really love this one. What made you think of putting the Tau for the greater good to the stylized portrait of Obama and his Believe campaign?
It's the Hope campaign, but yeah.
Yeah.
I was talking to a buddy of ours, Matt, about like what I do for Tau, and he's like, dude, they're like super like communist, and like in this current climate of like the political views, like Obama had hope, and I was like, man, I'm gonna do the same thing for this like the fish people, because like I'm not stealing any IP. That's just a fish person stylized to hope.
Yeah, love it, man, love it. And we're gonna hit the chat here in a second, but one more. This is the latest and greatest. I know it took James forever. Dis Me Lucky shirt. It was a great idea, kind of brainstormed amongst the Warp Charge cats, and the bucket of dice rolls is great. Love it, and that was another cool. It's fun to get to use our exclusive Facebook group, and excuse us for the one paywall we have, but we made our Facebook group available to our Patreon members, and we got to throw up another poll and double check how the best way to have that shirt spelled is. We did a poll recently for the dice colors that we have coming in. Really excited for the new dice. And then, James, I don't know if you caught it, but next week we get to give Tiro and Michael their Patreon payout. And Tiro, he's on the channel all the time shouting out his Heretic Hornet Tyranid player, and him and Chris are constantly talking Tyranid strats on the Warp Charge Facebook. So pretty awesome. Look forward to getting him hooked up. And thank you, everybody out there for your support for sure. So we got these sick new shirts, and basically like James made some awesome art. It's like we make like $5 on it, and if you want to, that's a cool way to support and not do the monthly sub thing and get to wear a sweet shirt. I think I just saw that Shadizo says he wears it every time he plays. Yeah, that's my man. Big appreciation there, Shadizo. And Big Cleat said, Big Cleat said he's buying those shirts tomorrow. Hell yeah. He also said, did you hear about demons being added to Kill Team? I did not hear about that, and let me tell you, I would not be more excited.
Awesome.
Give it to us.
That sounds awesome.
Oh my God, I would love to play some Bloodletters in Kill Team. I would love to play any of the demons.
Dude, I hope they make Flesh Hounds good.
That'd be crazy. That'd be crazy. There's nothing like there's no fast attacks really in there yet, so that'd be nuts.
Ooh.
But dang, there's some pretty nasty elites. What we got?
Blood Crushers?
They are elites. They're not fast attack, are they?
No, elites.
Yeah, that'd be another just wacky one. I doubt it. I just couldn't imagine a Blood Crusher and Kill Team. That'd be ridiculous. I guess they could.
Just storming around.
That'd be so cool.
Hello, Terminator. Here's
Go.
basically a power sword to the face.
Oh man, that'd be so cool, dude. Devastating charges. Don't give me. Oh, you got me all worked up, Big Cleat. I have not heard that. Give me your sources. Post us a link. We need it now.
Dude, he was so hyped on APOC, and then you just dropped that on him.
Yeah.
Oh man, anyone who was hungry for APOC content just got it shot in the foot.
Yeah, I mean, come on. I want demons. Oh, I think my dog.
Imagine you just running a bunch of hordes splitting.
I would love that too. I would love to split horrors. I gotta shut this door, so my dog's freaking out of fireworks, I think.
Oh yeah, dude, it's the 4th of July, bro.
Relax, dog. Relax. All right.
4th of July.
So yeah, man. You know, the one thing that's funny, James, is I don't know. I was just thinking about people. There's some poo-poo platters out there from people that accepting new game systems and whatnot. Just being at Battlegrounds, I have a lot more interaction with all different types of folks, and I constantly contemplate certain things about one. I've talked about it on the channel several times. Why do people not play new games? And I thought through that research, I think the biggest factor was time and people to play with. Those are the biggest reasons, right?
Of course.
If you don't have people to play with, you don't want to play the game. If you don't have time, and that's where, like, you know, this was a big thought for mine for Age of Sigmar Champions. Like, I'm still so bummed I can't play Age of Sigmar Champions regularly with real people. I've gotten to do one event that I played at Adepticon that was entertaining and cool. But yeah, the only reason I still play the game and did play it in the first place is because you could play on the internet with people. And that was a huge factor. It was one of those X factors that they came up with a solution for by making the online platform.
Dude, yeah, I made it so I can murk you on YouTube. And show the world.
That episode's so far back, nobody even knows anymore, man. I'm a champion.
Yeah, you can be a champion all you want. I got video proof of it.
Yeah, it's somewhere out there. Episode 25, I don't know. Oh man, but yeah. So you know the weird thing, James, is like I was sitting there looking at APOC today, and like, granted, this is what's interesting to me is that like I had the same impression with this as I did with Arena for Kill Team. When I opened up the Arena box, I think that thing was like $90. It was expensive, and I remember digging into it and being like, "There's not a lot in here. Like, this is not what I'm used to thinking you would get for this amount of money." And you know, the APOC box reminded me of the same, but they both have surprised me. One, the Kill Team box changed my mind. I appreciated it. I thought it was worth it because it like this that I didn't see at first is that it's a multi-person buy thing. You're supposed to buy Arena with a pal. You're supposed to buy Apocalypse with a buddy. I think that's how it's intended, and I don't think they market that enough because it makes a lot more sense. And they
want to sell twice as much, George.
That makes sense. We do know that they got some banging deals on those new APOC kits that are out for sure. You know, the like 170 for like 200 some worth of models. I think each kit's nearly $100.
Each one's an attachment, bro.
Yeah.
Each one's a full detachment. You get 3 boxes and you have a full 2,000-point army.
Dude, you know what's pretty tight is that there's probably going to be a lot of that stock for when we pop off with the Battle in the Warp. So, I mean, we're giving out like 3K.
Are we popping bottles, dude?
We're going to have like 3K in prizes. People will be able to buy these sick box sets, man.
Dude, so we're popping bottles? Is that what you're saying?
I plan on popping bottles. I'm definitely, the main reason I keep trying to think about.
So what's your spirit of choice?
Spirit of choice, I'm cranberry vodka, man.
So, Tito's?
It's a Cape Cod. Nice. Oh yeah, you like that.
Crazy, bro.
Yo, you just made me want to show this funny picture. There's a cool picture of. Yeah, I think this was my buddy Ben took a picture of this when we were getting ready to stream. You can see the kind of behind the scenes there at Battlegrounds. You can see the cool banner in the backdrop that I totally love. And yeah, just having a good time. Just a little random to the aside there. Oh, you know what, James? I also pulled up this little thumb for our conversation tonight. The old Gaze of Fate rule. That kind of lit the internet on fire this week a little bit. You were all surprised and whatnot, yeah?
Dude, yeah. I never got a definitive answer from anyone either.
So it's like Gaze of Fate has a warp charge value of 6. If manifested, you can re-roll a single dice roll later during your turn. It says a single dice roll.
Okay, so common English from in America. Single dice roll, you're thinking a single individual D6 roll it, right?
Yeah.
Am I wrong? That's what I always thought. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Then this shit comes up about the FAQ of like what's counts as a single dice roll. Well, single dice roll is basically one or more dice if they're equivalent, like the equal value. Or like if you're adding 2d6 to equal one sum, then that's a single dice roll. Because dice is either single or plural.
See, I'm not super surprised because that's how they do it in Kill Team, and like it's not like out of control to recognize. But I also never noticed it though.
So let's say you're shooting a gun that had 3 shots, all right, and you had 3 shots. You have Gaze of Fate, and they do, let's say, 2d3 damage. All right. Well, let's say you go to roll the shots. If you wanted to re-roll one of those, the Gaze of Fate, you only get to re-roll 1.
Yeah.
But let's say it goes to the damage, and you roll out like 2 1s for one of the 2d3 damage, and you normally just do 2 damage. Well, if you want to use Gaze of Fate on that, per FAQ, you re-roll both of them.
No, because they're individual. If you have like a melt-a-gun and you roll 2d6 and pick the highest, then you would re-roll both of them.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I mean
I get it as like the sum when they both equal one number.
But like 2d3 doesn't equal one number. Those are still
it does. It equals 1 plus 1 equals 2.
Each of those d3s, like if like Abaddon reduces them by half, then
this
each
is what
one.
I'm saying. It's confusing, bro.
Oh, I totally agree.
It's confusing.
I'm just saying that.
And then with charge rolls, like you roll your charge rolls, you're going off 2d6.
You re-roll those too. Yeah.
And it's basically saying you roll both of them instead of just re-roll one of them.
Yes, and like I said, with Kill Team, it makes it easier because this is a point of contention each time. But it's whenever the dice roll counts as a single total, and damage is individualized when it comes to like things that split cut damage down by 1, or each one of those D3 we reduce by 1.
But if it's like 2d3 added, or like how.
Yeah, like a laser destroyer, it has 2d6 damage, so that would be re-rolled together. If you roll, and that's
If something's 2d3 damage, you would re-roll them both together.
Yes, you're right. If it was 2,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I thought you meant like it got 2 d3 damage wounds through.
No.
Yeah, each wound is worth 2 d3 damage. Then yes, you would re-roll them both. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's where it gets kind of confusing to me, bro. It's like.
Did they say in the FAQ? I didn't catch that one.
Yeah, in the FAQ about a roll, if it like equals the sum of like one number. So
they gave it the Kill Team rule set. So in my mind then 100 that you have to reroll both dice on the charge, which is unfortunate.
Yeah. It is, and it also means I've been playing it wrong for a very long time.
Yeah, so
everyone I know have been playing it wrong.
And that happens, and it's mind-blowing whenever it's like, and what's really annoying is when some people start to comment like it's obvious, and they probably just learned that information, but they're like, you're doing it wrong. But like the way they say it is as if they've always played it right.
Like, dude, I haven't even been called out on it. I just saw someone comment about how like they played at multiple GTs in like the same weekend, and they had it ruled differently.
It so happens. I mean, like, hey, I remember playing, because people use a a tournament as an example of where rules don't get wrong, which I totally have seen. You know, that's bullshit. Like
Yeah.
at the Kill Team Nova, I was supposed to split the attacks of the multiple D3 attacks of a Flail of Corruption. Um, all at once when I allocate my before I roll how many attacks he actually gets. So he gets 3 attacks, and each one's a D3 amount of attacks. I can't roll 3D3 and then say, all right, 3 here, 4 there, 2 there. I have to allocate each one of the 3 individual attacks and then roll the D3 results per each one, then see what happens. But I did that all the way through the tournament. That was extremely powerful and less powerful the other way. And I was able to go into hordes and just murk up. But no judge call, nobody said shit. I didn't know. It happens all the time.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy, man, and I don't know how it gets so confusing.
Well, there's a lot of rules, and it's all about. We talked about it last week. You know, when you start a sentence explaining your rules that it doesn't say you can't, so I can do this, then it's kind of bullshit. But when
but that one's not even like it doesn't say I can't. It's
I know.
like it says single dice. It says it right there, single dice roll.
Yeah.
Well, what's the definition of a dice roll?
Yeah, well, without the FAQ, it would still be up in the air, and you could play it however you wanted. Honestly, and, you know, you have to just make an agreement before the match. But the FAQ now seems like it has solidified it.
Yeah,
So
bro.
that's cool with me.
Bro.
I look forward to reading Big Cleats post I can't see quite yet about the link to a Reddit where they're talking about Chaos Demons. I've seen a lot of talk. I haven't heard anything close to an official leak. That would be freaking awesome.
Hey, dude, it could happen, bro.
Yeah.
Because dude, they're adding the Furies to Warcry.
Oh.
Why can't they go to Kill Team?
Oh man, I'm excited for Warcry. I think also that they I liked somebody had a good idea, and I liked what they had to say when they thought of the idea of when they release Sisters, which they have been releasing plastic sister characters one by one each month now. That when they release Sisters in its full glory, it'll be like a Sisters Demons campaign set perhaps, and they'll put Sisters and Demons in a Kill Team at the same time. Because currently Sisters isn't in Kill Team either.
Same with Inverse Children. But I just thought of something when you're talking about like Warcry and things coming out.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw this because I didn't get a chance to grab a screenshot before they took it down.
The Black Fortress characters.
Yeah, the Black Fortress characters, but the what they typed in about them, like basically summoning reinforcements and like basically talking about how they work in 40K with Renegade Guard. So I think after Knights and Sisters, we're getting our Renegade Guard because they already got the Trader Guard came out with Blackstone Fortress. They got now the Commissar and Bulgrin coming out,
which looks sick. That looks so cool.
They get Renegade Knights now, so I'm just saying they're coming out with all these Renegade things. Someone else saw they read somewhere before it was taken down about Dark Mechanicus and working with Dark Mechanicus with one of the Knights, and I think they're about to come out with the whole like Dark AdMech and Dark fucking Renegade shit.
I think that's really that seems very likely, yeah, and that very exciting. I know that it looks amazing. I don't give a shit about Guard, but damn, those models look really tight.
Oh, dude, that Bulgrin looks super sick.
Really did.
Like those look like those Plague Hulks I did for you, and I can only imagine how cool it'd be to do a whole army like with those guys in it.
Right. No doubt.
I'm excited about these Knights, man. Like I don't know really necessarily about the rules, but they've shown a previewed. Looks pretty cool. That whole like take D3 mortal wounds and then you get to like go from that chart. Like, dude, you got some Forge World Knights that have toughness 9. Giving them +1 toughness makes them toughness 10. Toughness 10 Knights pretty difficult for some shit to deal with.
Oh, even just the idea of 3 Knights, 3 Lord Discordance or something is awesome to consider. You know,
dude, that is pretty cool to consider. Yeah, it's interesting, man. It's real interesting. I think they're going to come out with some pretty cool hotness.
Yeah, yeah. So that reminds me, James. I had to post a poll about whether to allow the Chaos Knights into the major event, and I just made me. It's a topic of reflection. We've set the rule cutoff of any new rules for a week out from the event, which seems like a reasonable, sensible amount of time, and as well as list submissions being mandatory and due. So I think I've seen tournaments do a full month out. It seems like since 8th edition's dropped, it's been much more came shorter and shorter time frames for the allowance of new rules because often the new rules are so necessary and welcomed, but it's usually more on like the side of FAQs and whatnot. Like a fresh new book, the more I thought about it, I get concerned about I do think that we've seen a trend of mislaunch rules that have quickly need to be rectified. I mean, look at the obliterators, 65 points. They had to like re-send out their FAQ of the FAQ. We've seen them put in the poxwalkers are fearless and then taking it out again like within the same day. Shit gets messed up, and to base it comes out on the 14th, the 6th, the day after lists were due. But I wanted to give people a chance. I want people to play what they want to play. But yeah, we did a quick poll, and I think a lot of people leaned on this side of I'm not feeling it for the sake of that, probably a distrust, and two. I think that we got a lot of newer players, as we've been very welcoming over the season 1 of our tournament league. That people are just getting into the tournament scene and they're enjoying whether they win, lose, or draw the experience of it, and they want to mitigate a chance of getting a gotcha feels badsy about something they didn't have time to kind of react to. Even though knights are knights, but with when you have such large prize support available, the chance of somebody trying to cheese it out as fast as possible is a little risky for the health of your new player base. What do you think, James? You were on the side of let the Chaos Knights rock, huh?
I'm on the side of 3-color minimum.
Yeah. You didn't like the yeah.
So like that's where I'm at. Is like if you don't want knights in because you don't want necessarily cheese in, it's like, man, without 3-color minimum, people could be to the hotness of the meta, and yeah.
That's fair, but like just knowing the crowd that we have grown, I mean, it's not like it's a lot of people, but there's still you have to support the new gamers, and that's why this isn't Nova Open. Their Nova Open has their requirement, and it's highly it's necessary. And I know a lot of people that are coming that are preparing just for that. But that's
a prime example.
Yeah,
is a recent tournament that Spiky Bits did an article on where it was either a GT or a major, and the guy who won had custodes that were 3D printed, unpainted.
I saw that.
There was no painting requirement for the GT, and counts as models were allowed, and as long as it was recognizable, which it was because they were to spec. The only thing that I think the player dropped the ball on were his bases, because he did not have like official size perfect bases. I mean, if you had nice bases, it's easy to play like, okay, that counts as, and that's the rules of the GT. But people were salty about it because they spent $50 and a dude who just printed his army won. And those that think there's no hobby like effort put into when you print models, there is. Like, through printing stuff myself, I know, like, regardless if he just hit print, he still had to level his bed. He still had to pull supports off. He still had to, like, do quite a bit of work, probably made multiple prints, and then had to assemble it still, just like any other model. The fact that it wasn't painted, that dude probably was planning on painting them. He just did. There was no painting requirement.
They looked like great prints. I was impressed as a printer of like the prints themselves.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not hating on them. It was the requirements to it, but it invited a lot of salt to the community, and that's probably why Spiky Bits did an article on it, because that would get quite a few clicks and attention, and it did.
Yeah, that's an interesting subject. I feel like, again, we've done we're doing 12 tournaments this year alone for just 40K, and just being the more I've come to know our community for our events, I know who our top player bases are, and they have extremely nice looking armies. And if somebody comes in with some bullshit, that I know that there's such a top grade of quality players that are going to be at the event, that there is that if someone came in with a fucking 3D printed unpainted army and won, I would just laugh, honestly. I would just think it's mind blowing and hilarious, unless it was one of these players. But the people that I know as top tier players, which is the majority of which I know a lot of people that are coming to our event, obviously, that their shit's painted and it's beautiful, you know.
But I can understand that for most events, but as you get larger and have larger prize support, like it's over 3K of what we're giving out because it's 100% prize support.
Right.
Like more people travel. Like you got someone come from New Zealand. Me and Kevin are coming from Illinois. Like there's more people traveling in, and it's like, what's to stop them from just wanting to bring that heat and win the prize support? I mean, first place is $600.
Yeah.
You play with some 3D printed models. You get an Ender 3, build your list, and then go buy yourself a brand new army. And contrast paints to go with it.
Yeah. No, that's fair, and that's fair, and that's funny. I guess that, and I hope to grow to be able to have such a strong confidence in our the amount of players that'll come to our events that we can sell out without any sort of and be able to kind of wait out unfortunately some people with new armies and things like that would be waited out as well, but of course it would encourage them to get their stuff ready, and there's always another event. But I definitely would rather be to a 3 color minimum, and again it's highly encouraged, but for now we're fostering growth and allowing that kind of stuff at ours. But I totally see the thought process that ties into all that. I think it's shame on us if we let somebody with a whack army come in and wreck people.
I agree. Like, I don't see it happening, but it does invite it after you have seen it pop up in the recent history.
That's very true. It's very true. Let's see. Man, I might have to either go grab my charger, or we're going to be calling this short here in just a few moments. We're about 46 minutes in, James.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could probably grab it, but I just had one thought that I'm excited about Tabletop Alchemy and our success with movement trays now that we see the price point of the GW movement trays.
What's quite funny is somebody put an exact copy of the GW Apocalypse movement trays on Thingiverse.
Oh, that's funny.
So if you have your own Ender 3 or a cheap FDM printer, you can literally print same as GW. And I know GWs are clear, but if you print ABS and get clear ABS, you can do an acetone bath, and it literally makes all your mold line goes away, and it's completely crystal clear, and it will look like GW trays.
That's hilarious.
Like fractions of the price.
That is hilarious.
Yeah.
Yo, I almost forgot. We do have a friend that jumped onto the chat there. I don't know if he's still out there, but Bud was asking about the scouting phase in Kill Team. He said that his group kind of died out around him, but still hot and heavy, getting to watch some bat reps and whatnot. Oh, shit's going crazy. But yeah, so he was asking about the scouting phase and why nobody ever seems to does it. Well, it's not in match play often. Maybe it is in the Kill Team core rules, but for all the tournament play that has existed, Nova missions, Adepticon missions, and many others, the scout phase does not go down. And it's kind of it's because there's a lot of randomness in it. It's like secret things you hide and reveal. It's not as consistent as eliminating it. And of course, in tournament play, they're always trying to find a consistency to make things as fair as possible.
Dude, when you said it's like secret, it made me think of the song "Secret, Secret." Got a secret.
Little Sticks.
Yep.
The da 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 da. Yeah, I love that song actually. I am the Iron Man.
I'm so happy I finished my lucky shirt, man. Like,
it's great.
I'm excited about it because I'm gonna order that real soon. Because I think it's gonna be awesome because it's a bucket of dice, dude. That's how orcs are lucky.
Yeah.
That's how orcs get lucky, dude. They have so much bad hitting numbers, but because there's just so many of them, bro.
I love it.
They're
Dude.
lucky by numbers, dude. They're lucky by numbers, bro.
Ah, there we go. Try to get it up on the screen. It is fantastic. Super fantastic.
Yeah.
If you guys want to jump on any of that, just warpchargegaming.com and just hit the store, and it's made to order, whatever size you want, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Super stoked.
Yeah, it's a blend, so it's not 100% cotton. We don't like that shrinking stuff. We like that breathable stuff.
No way, dead battery's dead as you answer my question. Oh, no. Let's see. So, I understood him. I answered your question. I did. I'm pretty sure the scouting phase does not go down in match play. It's also.
Dude, Cizo's the man.
What happened?
His next army is going to be world leaders in corn.
Ah, very nice.
Dude, my love for corn is spreading out into the universe.
In the 30K Apocalypse game we're going to film, we have 10, 20, 30, 40, 60. There's like 70 Berserkers.
Dude,
like
you need to get up to 40K so you can say you're playing 40K.
I know.
APOC.
Yeah, we're at 30,000. Well, we haven't added my buddy's army, but we're at 30,000 painted. We could probably get to the rest of it was unpainted.
Dude, you got to do 40K just for the bait click alone of playing 40K APOC.
Oh, I need 10,000 more points of chaos, and then we need an opponent. We'll get it going on.
Dude,
though.
I don't even have 10,000 points of chaos, dude.
Yeah, it's not.
All the chaos combined, not even 10,000 points, bro.
It's going to be amazing, dude. There's so many wings and greater demons they got going on, and fucking scorpions, and double Lord of Skulls, and Reaver Titans, and Warlords. Ah!
Bro, has anyone got a pylon?
Yeah, there's a pylon floating around the store. Yeah.
There definitely needs to be pylons on the table. I want to see what they do in APOC.
Yeah, I'm curious. I haven't looked. We need all the things. But yo, I'm on the 2%.